Well, good afternoon, YouTube. You can say welcome back to my Woodturning live. I'm going to say, and today, basically, what I've got on the lathe here, it's not a massive piece of timber. Basically, this is a piece of British ash, and basically, it's not any type of ash; it's dieback ash. And here in Wales, we get quite a lot of it, really. And there's a big difference with ash and dieback ash, and it's a type of disease which sits in the wood, and then it kills off a lot of the ash trees here in Wales, and instead of actually burning it, I'm going to turn it instead. So but yeah, as I said, I jumped on yesterday. We turned a beautiful piece of British oak, and which is here, and it's an 8x3 oak bowl. So but today we're going to try and do something very similar. And I turn an awful lot of bowls on this channel. I also turn vases, decorative items, pens, platters, that kind of thing, really. But yeah, so if you are new to my lives, this is just a demonstration. And yeah, as I say, we're going to crack on basically. And I am using the record power corner herald. And yeah, but today we're going to turn this into another decorative piece, and hopefully it'll stay in one piece. I was going to say, we're just going to give it a quick measure before we get the lathe spinning, and we'll take it from there. Really, I could have taken the corners off to simplify it really and make it a bit quicker. But when I'm using traditional tools like the 1/2 inch bowl gouge, it will make light work of these corners. Now, there's one thing about ash: it is very dense. It's very hard. So regular sharpening is always required. Now it's 7x4, which is a bit of a strange size, but I'm just waiting on a log delivery. So basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this lathe up to speed and put my face shield on, and we're going to get turning. If anybody's got any questions, feedback, anything like that, really, don't forget to drop them in the comments. And it really does help the channel out when people start to engage with the videos. So, but yeah, we're going to crack on today. We are going to crack on. So I'm just going to start the lathe off on its slowest speed, and I'm around about 140 there. So we're going to speed it up gradually. So we're going to see where we go now. Okay, 600 RPM. 600 RPM. So we're going to basically get this spinning now. And yeah, we'll try and make some cuts and get some kind of shape, some kind of proportion. And in fact, I'm just going to stop there 1 second. Just want to ensure that tool rest is exactly where I want it. So basically, we are going to be sitting center. Okay, sitting center. I'm going to say if it's too high, we're going to be making some really awkward cuts. If it's too low, then again we're going to catch it with the bowl gouge. So, but yeah, if you are new to my Woodturning lives, as I say, my name's Dan. And yeah, I've been a wood turner for over 2 years, and I make an awful lot of stuff, from bowls, platters, vases, pens, key rings, decorative items, that kind of thing. But if you want to engage with the live, as I say, don't forget to drop the comments in the little chat, and I'll try and do my best to answer as many questions as possible. But we're going to get turning. We're going to get turning. 44 people in the room already. Welcome everybody. I'm still a tad too low there. I'm still a little tad too low. And it's quite easy to be able to tell really when you're cutting low, because when it's turning, as you can see, the gouge, it's catching it, okay? And I don't want to catch it, I want to cut it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the banjo out of the way, and I'm just going to basically raise that tool rest so it's much more comfortable when, there we are, I'm cutting center now. Okay, you can see it's already trying to remove the bark. Now once we remove the bark, it'll give us a good indication basically with what's going on with its grain. Now, as I said right at the very beginning, ash is very distinctive, okay? It's very distinctive, okay? And it stands out because of its grain pattern, okay? Its grain pattern is absolutely stunning. Got a bit of sawdust in there. But yeah, ash is very beautiful type of timber, very dense, very hard to cut. Dieback ash, on the other hand, is very similar to ash, but there's staining, okay? It's a stain inside the wood. And hi Peter, welcome to the live. I was going to say, yeah, dieback ash has a lot of staining going on. So, and we get an awful lot of it here in Wales, and it does kill off a lot of the ash trees. So, and instead of burning it, I like to turn it. I was going to say it's quite different. It's quite different. So, but yeah, we're going to crack on. Basically, we're going to make sure everything's locked because you don't have anything slipping, dropping, moving, that kind of thing. So, and like I said, I want to try and get this on to centre, and we'll see how we go. We'll see how we go. Now I try and make a lot of my content quite interesting. I try and make it a bit more explanatory and basically explain my process. I was going to say, because when I first became a wood turner, I got so overwhelmed with so much information, so many different words, terminology, saying it, put it like that. And yeah, and I really kind of wanted somebody to put it in layman's terms, you know, explain it like a 2-year-old to me, because a lot of the stuff you've got to learn as a wood turner is really kind of quite it's quite technical, if that makes sense. Can say, because it's not just about putting the gouge on the tool rest and letting the thing spin. It's about tool placement, okay, and technique. And without that, really, it's you're not really going to do much, okay. So, but yeah, so how many people got in the room? 156 people in the room. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. And at the moment, what I'm trying to do is basically stop that. What I'm trying to do right now is these big flat edges, okay? I could have cut these corners off to simplify it really. But as you can see, I'm going to start coming round, okay? I'm going to start creating some shape to it. So once I remove these big flat edges, we'll remove all this bark. We'll get it into that round bowl shape, okay? And then we'll flip it round and we'll hollow the thing out. So, and if that's any kind of interest, don't forget to support the channel. It is free. And but yeah, any subscribers, likes, comments, that kind of thing, all makes the life a bit more engaging. So but yeah, we've got over 200 people in the room. Welcome everybody. Hope you're all having a great day. Hope you're all having a great day. Now, I'm not trying to actually make any clean cuts at the moment, and what I'm trying to do is get it into a shape, okay? It's what we class as our form, okay? The form is it's a shape. So, and at the moment, basically, with ash, you've got to make sure these bowl gouges stay extremely sharp, and regular sharpening is always required, especially when working with hardwoods like ash, oak, beech, that kind of thing. So they've got to stay sharp, all right? And say you're not going to cut nothing with blunt tools. So, but yeah, as you say, I joined YouTube late last year, and I jumped from 0 subscribers to over 3,000 subscribers in a very, very short space of time. So I can't thank you all enough for supporting the channel. It does mean an awful lot to me. And yeah, I wouldn't keep jumping back on lives and creating content basically if there was nobody there to watch it. So But yeah, I was going to say I'm based here in mid Wales, so it's but yeah, I'm surrounded by woodlands, forests, all that kind of stuff really. So I have like an abundance of wood to turn and to make stuff out of. So I did make a beautiful pen the other day. Nice little pen made of oak. Okay, so but I don't just make pens. I make bowls, platters, vases, that kind of thing. So but yeah, I'm going to crack on with this piece. And yeah, I've had pieces come off the lathe. I've had pieces explode on me. And yeah, it's just about keeping safe at all times, okay? All times. Because like I said, it's still a piece of machinery. It's still a piece of machinery and it can hurt you, okay? So that's why I say to people, it's not a tutorial, okay? It's a demonstration. And basically, it's just to demonstrate kind of like how things are made. So if that's kind of any interest, you say, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Now, a lot of wood turners, right, they don't start on these, okay? They don't start on, these are traditional wood turning tools, okay? And like the profile on the end basically is where we make our, is what we try to do is keep maintaining contact with that bevel, okay? So basically what a lot of wood turners tend to do is they start using, they begin with these, okay? Which is a lot different, okay? These are carbide tips, okay? And these we sharpen, these we replace, okay? We can sharpen these, but they're cheap enough just to replace, okay? And yeah, they're both as sharp as each other, okay? So basically, if I was to put the bowl gouge down, okay, this square little tip, okay, this square little tip is basically what we call a roughing tip, okay? So it's roughing the log out. So and I shall demonstrate for you now. So just bring that tool rest round, okay? So as you saw with the bowl gouge, okay, as you saw the bowl gouge, I'm on it sideways, it's sideways, okay? And this one, okay, we don't come into it sideways, okay? We come into it horizontal, okay? And there's a big difference between this and this, because this is what we call HSS, high speed steel. So when I actually do sharpen this piece up on the sharpening system, it doesn't burn away too much steel, okay? So it can handle quite a lot of sharpening. So, and we don't want to burn the steel down straight away because we'll have no gouge left. But like I said, piece of carbide, okay? Is that camera angle okay there? Let's move you there, okay? Fine, likes already, 331 people in the room. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. So like I said, you know, I'll demonstrate with carbide, okay? Same kind of tool, but different cutting, okay? Different cuts just by placing it on the timber. It's a different technique. It's a different technique altogether, okay? What I'm trying to do is just remove all that bark We can keep the bark on. We can keep the bark on. If you don't mind me asking, are you left-handed? Because it looks like you are turning in reverse speed. No, basically what it does, Siman, is basically with YouTube, it reverses the camera. It's a bit of a pain, to be honest, but yeah, I've tried to work it out and try to understand how to flip it so it looks like it's facing the right way, but no, it's filming, it mirroring the lathe, so a bit of a pain, but I'll get around it one day. If I was to pre-record it and using the back camera on the phone, then obviously it's in the right orientation, and it's a bit easier to understand. But when I'm using the front camera, because obviously I can see myself and I can see you as well, it's all right, Simon. I thought I'd explain myself. I've had that question before. How come it looks like it's going the other way? Yeah, it's because it's flipping it, it's mirroring it. So, but right now, as you can see, those flat edges are going, okay? And I've got lots of tool marks in here, okay? But we can clean that up. We'll clean that up once we've got our shape, okay? And yeah, it's going to say it's one of these things with YouTube and content creation. It's quite new to me. And I like to just try and be as open as possible, if that makes sense. It's but yeah, have you ever tried to learn something and then no matter how many videos you watch, it just gets more and more complicated, more and more confusing. So I try to do it in real time, live. So sometimes I'll make a mistake and you'll see me make that mistake live and how I overcome it and what I learned from that, really. And as I'm learning, so are you. So but yeah, say I'm no expert, but I've made an awful lot of stuff. Okay, no, not perfect at woodturning, but I don't try to be. I was going to say, because nothing's ever perfect, is it? See with this now, I'm coming into it sideways. It's not like this with carbide, okay? It's this way, okay? But that thing is spinning right towards me at 600 revolutions per minute. So yeah, I have to make sure that thing is not going to go anywhere. Now at the moment it's just half a log. It's just half a log, okay? So basically this is what we class as side grain, okay? Side grain. And you're probably wondering, why wouldn't I just chop a log into a disc where it's already round, okay? Why wouldn't I do that? Let me get a log. Let me get a log. Oh, have I got one in there? Yes, I have. Oh, how is it? Right. You can imagine this, okay? Imagine a big long log, okay? And I've taken the chainsaw to it, and what we class as a cookie, okay? I can just quite easily put that on the lathe. It's already round, okay? And the only reason I don't is because basically this is what we class as end grain, okay? And end grain still holds the pith, the heart, the core of the log, okay? This is where basically, as it dries, it'll split from the center, okay? Right from the center. Have I got one? I've probably got a bowl somewhere where, yes I have. Where is it now? Same thing, right? Log into bowl, okay, it's a rimmed bowl, okay, so we have the lip on it. And this is a piece of end grain. Now, if it wasn't dry, basically what happened is it split from the center, and as basically you've turned the bowl, it'll crack, it'll warp, okay, it'll start losing its shape, etc. And as it does that, it'll break, okay, it'll probably fall in half. So this is end grain, this is side grain, okay. We've removed the pith because, like I said, we don't want it in our log because that will cause the bowl to crack, and we don't want that. So, all right, so we're going to crack on. We're going to crack on. So, like I said, I've got a flat edge here which I'm removing, and I've got a little flat edge here which I'm removing. So, and as you can see, it's going to go oval first, okay. And as it goes oval, then we remove the sides. Then it'll go round, okay. Then it'll go round. So, let's get going. Let's get going. Faster I spin this piece of timber, faster it spins, the cleaner the cuts I'll make. If it's running too slow, we end up with these ridges in it, okay? And at the moment, I'm only running a 600. I can get over 1,000, no problem. And the reason why I don't want to rack it up to that kind of speed just yet is because at the moment, you just want to keep an eye on how that timber is going to behave. Because if it is unbalanced and it does become a problem, then what's going to happen, it's going to get all wobbly and it's going to come flying. And we don't want that, okay? We seriously don't want that because that could be incredibly dangerous. And somebody asked on one of my lives once, have I ever been hurt on the lathe? Yes, I have, okay? Yes, I have. By not wearing a face shield, okay? And what happened, there was a tiny little corner on the side of the log. And I went to just thought, okay, we'll just nip that off. We'll just nip it. And I didn't have my head shield on. And what happened, that little chipping, small little tiny chipping, came off and it got hit me right in the eye. So right in the eye. Blood shot my eye for a week. So yeah, so it's always best to ensure basically you've got PPE on. Otherwise you can really hurt yourself. Really hurt yourself. So anyway, I'm going to crack on. I'm going to remove these sides, okay, and then I'll explain when it comes to these two, okay, because these can be different cuts are needed, okay, different cuts are needed. So I'm going to crack on. Where are we? 600. 730, okay, 730. So we are speeding up. As you can see, I'm keeping that bevel on there, okay? It's what we class as riding the bevel, okay? Now this piece of timber is quite dry, and I think the moisture content is down to around about 14%, I think it's down to 14%. And yeah, you can turn wet wood, but if you do turn wet wood, which is wood that's recently been felled, it'll warp, it'll move around, it'll shift, okay? And if you want to wait for wood to dry, it takes 1 year per inch, okay? So you could be waiting a long time for wood to dry. I have got stuff in here from this piece of wild mango, and it's just a block at the moment. And when I do go to turn this, this is an exotic type of wood from Africa. So, and I've turned things like umbelio, which is another African type of hardwood, and I've got tanga, another type of exotic wood, which we're going to get into. But I have just bought myself a pressure pot. So basically, have you ever seen these things that are made from epoxy, where they incorporate it with wood? That's what I'm going to start getting into soon, and it's going to make things a little bit more interesting as in design wise. So, but yeah, as I can say, we've nearly removed this corner here, and we've nearly removed this one here. And worst things we'll ever do, which you just never ever do as a wood turner, is turn cracked wood. If you see cracks in it, doesn't go near the lathe, because basically you can turn a piece and as it's spinning, it can just break off. Okay, it can break apart. So has happened to me the other day, but I couldn't see the crack from the outside. It's an internal hairline flasher, so we don't really mess around with stuff like that, because like I said, you can get hurt. All right, this is a 1/2 inch bowl gouge. Okay, it's a 1/2 inch bowl gouge. And where's my other one? Have I got it here? Yes, I have. Same profile. One's got this metal bit is the flute. Okay, flute. Not like the musical instrument, but it's the flute. Okay, and this one's a 3/8 bowl gouge. It's just got a smaller flute to it. So thank you very much. But yeah, I was going to say it's, but yeah, 1/2 inch is really aggressive, and it can remove quite a lot of timber very quickly. Okay, the 3/8 bowl gouge is more for things like cleaning up, tidying up, removing tool marks, etc. So, but yeah, I was going to say they have different jobs. Okay, they've got exactly the same, but they've got a different job. But I've also got an array of wood turning tools on the wall, which we'll get through in a minute. So I'm going to come on to this face value. So I've got full length of that tool rest then, basically. I don't want to be slipping off the side of it. I was going to say, so keep an eye on the wood, make sure it's secure, make sure it's going nowhere, always check it. Don't be just assuming it's staying there, because sometimes if you don't check it, it could wobble. Okay, and the only thing holding that on there is 4 screws. Okay, and a face plate, which I'll show you in a bit. But yeah, each piece of timber is always different from the last one you've turned. No two types of timber behaves the same. This is a plate. It'll probably turn into a bowl. But you're on about the face plate. I'll show you what the face plate looks like. This. So these 4 screws, and there's only about 1-inch screws going into this. So you've got to ensure you don't go too deep, otherwise you hit the screws coming through. Okay, and what these do, this is the chuck. So basically that ring there will sit in there, and we open and close those jaws. Okay, so it'll go on, and then we open the jaws up. Okay, and it'll sit inside that internal ring. Okay, so and we want to ensure that is tight, and that's going nowhere. Okay, so just always double check. So what I'm going to do, come on to it now, and we're getting the shape, aren't we? The shape is happening. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick to the 1/2 inch bowl gouge at the moment, because like I said, it's very aggressive. It takes a lot of timber off, and yeah, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to resharpen this. Okay, and I'm going to show you how I sharpen it. Let's swing it around. See this machine? This is a Pro Edge, okay, which keeps your edge very sharp. So goes in the vise, or the jig. Okay, the jig goes in. Now we don't want it all the way down here. Okay, we want it about 1/3 of the way. Okay, lock it in. Okay, that'll hold it now. Okay, so it's just like a glorified belt sander. Okay, so goes in. that's done. That's sharp, okay? One way to tell if it's sharp, how shiny it is now, okay? That's sharp. So, let's bring you back around. See this little lathe here, this small one? What I started on, okay, that little one. That's a mini lathe, good for pens. What I'm on here is a midi lathe, okay, it's a bigger lathe, it's more powerful, it's got much bigger capacity. So, but yeah, that's the difference between a mini and a midi. And you go up and bigger, you go bigger than that. Right, 723 revs, nice and sharp again, okay, not actually on the piece. Is that about right? Okay, what are we on now? 38 likes, thank you very, very much. Really do appreciate that. Very, very kind of you all, thank you. I think once it gets momentum, YouTube's like, oh, okay, people might actually want to watch this. Right, crack on. See, I'm still holding it here, supporting it with my body weight. Because if it does catch me, it's got to move me, okay? Some people do this, you know. No, it's not the way to do it. Because if you do this and you get a catch, or it catches you, it's gonna yank you, okay? You're gonna hurt yourself. So you all support it. There were nearly 1,000 people in here just a minute ago, I'm sure there was. I'm going to speed it up, okay? I'm going to speed it up. 1,000 revs, okay? It's 1,000 revs. You can always tell by once you touch it. We're running a lot faster now, okay? Let's have a quick look. Let's have a quick look. Okay, we're definitely going round, aren't we? We're definitely going round. I could leave this on, right? I could leave this on as a bit like a feature, okay? But the only reason I don't is because I used to do it. And the only reason I don't is because when it goes away, okay, and it goes to sit there as a decorative piece or whatever, and a lot of people's leaving in the window, etc., as a look at my piece, you know, it'll dry up so dry. What will happen? It'll become brittle, okay, and what tends to happen then? It'll start breaking off in bits, and then it just ruins the look of the bowl, or ruins the look of the piece, and yeah, it takes the aesthetics away from the bowl. It's not very appealing to the eye anymore, and yeah, so I stopped doing it. So I started just taking it off. It's a lot easier just to remove it, and then basically we can worry about kind of the timber itself. But as you can see the die back, you can see the staining in it, okay? The stain, a little knot here, which I'm not too bothered about. So we'll sort that out. We've got that tiny little edge to go there, and then we just contend with this, okay? Which is no problem. No problem. And as we say in Wales, dim problem. Dim problem. No problem. So, I'm going to crack on, okay? I'm going to get rid of that. Deal with this, okay? 50 likes. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. 1,347 people in the room. That's insane. I'm going to say I've never had that many people in my life. So, but yeah, right. It's roundish, okay? Right, let's get rid of this, okay? Let's get rid of this. And because I've still got that natural bowl shape, okay? Still got that natural shape. But what I want to try and minimize is when I tend to make these cuts, I don't want to remove so much timber, I end up with a bowl like this big, okay? Because it's what we call a consort bowl. We've got a consort bowl. I have got a consort bowl. Kind of about this big, okay? Well, trinket bowls, I call them. But yeah, I can make all sorts of little stacking cuts, but this is where I began as a wood turner, okay? This is where I did begin as a wood turner. Where is it? Is that the one? Okay, look at it. The rim isn't flat, okay? It's a bit of a funny shape, and there's no definition to it. It just goes down, okay? Down. And yeah, a bit like a dog bowl, okay? So, and what bowls I like they should have a flow to them, okay? They should have this nice flowing shape to them. So, and what I mean by that is your finger should go in from the center, in, up, okay? Not in, across, and then bang, just flat bottom, like a natural bowl, okay? And it's still going to match this shape, okay? Which is what we're doing here at the moment, okay? Nice flowing shape, nice flowing curves, okay? It's got to look appealing, okay? It's got to look nice. So, in the space I've been wood turning, I've made an awful lot of mistakes, you know. I've had pieces come off the lathe, you know. It's all part of that process when learning anything. Like you said, when you ride a bike, you've got to fall off a few times to get back on, and to learn. Same thing with wood turning, you know. And every wood turner's been in the same boat as me, in the same position, where we've got complacent, if that's the word, complacent. And you think, okay, great, this isn't going to be a problem. And believe you me, famous last words, sometimes you can say that and things do go wrong. Let's remove this, okay? And I'm going to show you, once I've removed that, how we move on to the next step, okay? Speed up. 1100. In fact, we can just turn it down a second, right? One way to tell if your piece is round, okay? Right? See, it's not bouncing. There's flat edges that'd be going. Sound is bad. Sorry, buddy. I'm going to say I'm in my workshop. It's going to sound worse on here. I do have a lavalier mic. But I'd have to stop the stream, and I don't want to do that. So, but apologies. I do apologise for the poor audio. I'm going to say it's a lot louder in here than it is on your end, trust me. Get up to speed again. 1100. So where are you all from? Where are you all from? I was going to say, because you all know I'm from Wales. I've had people from Italy in my life, some people from Pakistan, from Japan, the Netherlands, Alaska. So I get an audience from all over the world. at that a minute. I want to see how much of that bark I've removed. Quite a bit of it. Quite a bit of it. So just this area here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to swap from this tool, okay? Finland, Philippines. Welcome to Wales, Finland and Philippines. I'm going to say, I'm going to swap from this one, okay? Because at the moment I'm removing rather a lot of timber and this piece is getting smaller and I don't want that. We've got 999 people in the room and the other the 3/8. It's less aggressive and it doesn't remove loads and loads of timber, okay? So I just want to remove the bark, okay? I don't want to remove any more timber, it's going to get too small. So, but yeah, I'm going to come in with a push cut, okay? Away from me, okay? Comes away from me. Pulling towards me is a pull cut. Push, pull, okay? And usually a pull cut is classed as a shear cut, okay? Shear cut. And it's almost shearing away, okay? So at the moment, I want to push away to get around there, okay? Because at the moment, it's sitting here. It's awkward. I could pull it and take it off, but again, we're removing too much timber. So again, I'm going to push it. I'm just going to be really careful about how much I'm removing, okay? So, let's go. Hi everyone, welcome to the live. 92 likes. Thank you very, very much. Let's have a look. See if we can get to 100. Oh, there we are. 101 likes. There we are. Thank you very much. Right. Nearly gone. Nearly gone. Okay. 800 people still in the room. And say, right. The shape is nearly there. Okay. Looks a funny shape, but we'll sort that out. We'll sort that out. I'm just going to take that off. I'm going to put a foot on the bottom. Okay. So it's got a nice base to sit on. What I mean by a foot. So the all finished yesterday, okay, piece of oak. That's the foot. So basically it's got like a base to sit on, okay. If I leave it like that, it's gonna wobble, okay. And I don't want that. I'm not sure what that says, bro. I'm not sure. Alright. Let's take this off. Foot on, flip it, hollow it. Bonjour. Thanks. Gotta be 113 likes. Thank you very, very much. Damn it, still there. Right, a lot of people say in my lives and stuff, they find wood turning quite therapeutic to watch, you know, to see a half a log, you know, a piece of wood just be turned, you know. It's yeah, people find it mesmerizing and very mesmerizing turning it. It's quite, yeah, it's quite interesting. Some people have an idea when they start wood turning about what they want to make and how they want to make it and design and stuff. I don't. I work with the wood, okay, I'm not against it. So I'm off to go and see a tree surgeon tomorrow, and yeah, he's got stacks of wood. So yeah, I'm quite interested. I'm really interested. So it's going to be a day out of wood shopping. So right, I could leave that there, but it'll come off when I sand it. But at the moment, I just want to deal with it now, and then I won't have to deal with it later. That kind of thing. All right. If you're not subscribed to the channel, and you'd like to, it'll notify you when I jump online, when I go live, okay? So if you'd like to support my journey on YouTube, it is free. And yeah, I try to make my content as engaging, educational, and yeah, I like to make stuff. When I said before about the 3/8, using it to tidy up, to clean up, that's what I'm doing right now. It's removing those tool marks, okay, that I had at the very initial start. 1400 RPM, okay? You have to get to this stage before moving forward, you see. You have to create that shape, that form, that piece. There's no point trying to go any further when you've already kind of got things like this to go deal with, okay? It's getting smaller. It's getting smaller. 139 likes. Thank you. 140 likes. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very, very much. It really does mean an awful lot. Very heartfelt, you know. So we've got that dome, that looking dome shape, okay? So not an issue at the moment, but that's annoying. That's annoying. What I am going to do actually, I'm going to take the carbide out, okay? And the difference between the carbide I showed you earlier, about this being a roughing tip, okay, the square one, this one's a round one, okay? And the round one is just coming round, okay? It's coming round like corners, okay, like this. So again, support it like any other tool. If you don't, you're going to hurt yourself. Okay, that should be gone, and if it's not gone, we're moving on. Pretty much gone. I can sand that off, okay? Quite easy, quite easy. 153 likes. I'm going to hit my target at this rate, as I can say, but you're also very, very kind. My target, my highest ever target while live is 200. 200. And it was when I first initially set up the channel and started introducing myself to YouTube. And yeah, I like to make it a bit engaging, you know, make it engaging. So, right, I spoke about the foot, okay? And But there's also a thing called a tenon, okay? And the tenon looks like this, okay? Tenon, foot. And the reason we create a tenon is so basically when we take it off the faceplate, we put it in the chuck and we grip it, okay? And we don't want to grip it too much, because if we grip it too tightly, you can rip those fibres in the wood and the thing's going to come flying, okay? So, but I'll show you how I do that. We don't use the round one, and we use, this is dieback ash. Dieback ash from the ash family, okay? From the ash family. Very hard wood, very, very hard wood. You can always tell with dieback ash because it takes that, its name from dieback, okay? And the dieback is basically the form of disease which hits the tree, especially here in Wales, and they fell a lot of ash trees, okay? Very pretty ash, you say, very, very dense, very hard. So, right, foot, that tenon, then foot, okay? Let's make it. Tenon, foot. That's simple, okay? Tenon's a little bit large for my liking, so I'm just going to take a smidgen off it, okay? Okay, right, like that. So what I've got here now, I've got the tenon, okay? And it has to be the same diameter all the way around. If it's not, it's going to sit in the jaws and it's going to be a little bit wonky, okay? And we don't want that. Always stay safe when on a lathe, always. Never take yourself for granted on a lathe. I say you can get yourself hurt. So I've got that bowl shape, okay? But as you see here, when I've created the tenon and the foot, I created that flat edge, okay? And I don't want that flat edge. I don't want the flat edge. What I want to do is blend that back in, blend it back into the bowl. And the way to do that is using the bowl gouge again. We just sweep that back in. It takes literally a couple of seconds, and we blend that back into the piece, okay? Because otherwise it's going to sit with a flat bottom. Don't want that. Don't want that. So I'm going to take the 3/8 back, okay? And then blend that flat edge back in. There we are. There we are. So there we are. We don't have a flat edge now. It sweeps back around, okay? So I'm going to take my chuck key, I'm going to put it down in the pocket. Now you notice this smock, that's what we call it, Woodturning smock. And then there's no pockets on the front, okay? And there's a reason for that. They're on the back, okay? And the reason they're not on the front is because if that thing's spinning towards you and you're fumbling around in your pockets and you pull something out and you hit that, you're going to break your hand, okay? So, so what I'm going to do, that's the reason the pockets on the back, okay? Is I'm going to lock the lathe there, here. I'm not going to spin now, okay? I'm not going to spin. So what I want to do is take that and lock it, okay? Faceplate, chuck, okay? These jaws open, close, okay? And like I said before, we open it to secure the ring, okay? So it's not coming off, okay? So that's actually stuck, okay? Now what I want to do is take that tenon, put it in the jaws, Make sure it's got a lovely, nice, secure fit, okay? Let's move that out of the way a minute. So I'm not entirely happy with that. Make sure. In fact, I've made a mistake. Not made a mistake, but I've missed something. I've missed something. which will take me about 10 seconds. And this is important, okay? This is important. What I'm going to do, see this tenon I've made, okay? Those jaws have a dovetail on them, okay? It's like a dovetail, it's the fit of the jaws. So what I'm going to do now, this tool is called a skew. It's got a totally different profile on it, okay? And what I want to do, I'm going to create the dovetail on the back of that tenon, on the back, and basically that will basically mean a nice comfortable fit for the tenon to fit in the jaws. If I don't, and it's just got that flat edge, it's not going to sit comfortable, okay? It's not going to sit great. So let's fit the dovetail. It takes literally seconds. Let me just sharpen it, 1 second. Shiny, okay, sharp. Yeah, done. Dovetailed. Lock it. 200 likes, so thank you so much. Thank you so much to every single one of you. Thank you very much. I know it's only a click to you, but it means an awful lot to me, as you can tell. Like I said, we don't want to over tighten it. That faceplate's coming off, okay? Could use a screwdriver, but I'll be here all day trying to take them out. You remember, ashes are hardwood. Size of the screws, okay? Now the importance of using good quality screws is really important, okay? Really important. Because if you use cheap screws and they snap, it's coming off, okay? And we don't want that. Now one day I went out and I bought myself some of these, okay? They're called ultra screw, okay? All right, and they cost me quite a lot. The problem with these ultra screws is they got actually ultra stuck in the piece of wood, okay? And the heads broke off them and left me with 3 of the 4 screws still stuck in the piece. They were well and truly stuck. So what I'm going to do now is give it a spin. Okay, it's still not sitting comfortably, I can tell. There we go, put some weight on it, okay? Put some weight on it. Now that face, could have done a better job sawing that, is not very clean. And what I mean by clean, it's not flat, it's not flush. I've got all these lumps and bumps and everything in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come onto it now, face value, okay? Like we started at the beginning when we're taking the cleaning the log up, okay? So I'm going to lock this, okay? This bit is the banjo. This is the tool rest. This is the headstock. On the other side of the lathe, if I can get it, that one is the tailstock. Okay, do a bit more explaining about that on my channel. So, like I said, I want to come up. I don't want to be too high. I don't want to be too low. I want to be center. Okay, center. So if you're too low, you're going to catch it. Okay, if you're too high, it's not going to be effective, if that makes sense. Bonnie travail. I'm not sure what that means, sorry. Right, as you can see, there's loads of ridges in it, okay? So again, from the side, I can use carbide to start at face, okay? Like I showed before. One from the side, the ball gouge, and clean up that way, okay? So, just going to have a look at this speed now. Okay. Okay. We're not adding pressure. We just want the lathe to spin, okay, and the tool to cut it, okay. If you're aggressive, okay, and you rush, you're going to make a mistake. And if you make a mistake on a lathe, you're going to get hurt, okay? So the best thing is to do is take your time, don't rush, and be careful, okay? They're the main things about it, really. Be creative, you know. Most importantly, just safety is paramount, okay? Very, 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 can't stress that enough. Very important. A little knot there coming out, that is. So again, I've got this ridge here, I'm going to get rid of it. What I'm going to do, I'm going to bring my spear back out, okay? So, because it's quite aggressive, I want to take this down 3 or 4 mil to get rid of this ridge. No point trying the hollow with a ridge in it, okay? It's going to be a problem, it's going to be a problem. So, speed up a little bit more. Is that camera angle okay? Is it alright? I'm going to say, because you're the audience, I'm just woodturning. So, but yeah, we'll crack on. I'm going to stop there and we're going to check. Okay, we've nearly removed it. Okay, we've nearly removed it. So again, we'll go back to the carbide. Square tip. I'm just going to add face value and just clean it up. Okay, speed up. That should be clean. That should be tidy. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's nice and flat. Right. This is where the fun starts. This is where we hollow. Okay. We don't core it. Like I said in my other lives, you know, you core an apple. You go through an apple to core it. I don't want to core a bowl because I'll go straight to the bottom of it, and I don't want to do that. So again, I could use carbide, but if I use carbide, it's going to look like that. Okay, it's going to have a flat bottom because we just go in. Is that a better way to explain it? We just go in and there we are, to the bottom. Okay, I don't want a flat bottom. Don't want a dark bowl. So back to the bowl gouge, a 3/8 bowl gouge, and I could use the 1/2 inch. It's quite aggressive, but again, it's just a small piece. You know, I don't want to make the wrong cut. The next thing it goes through the bottom and I ruin it. Okay, so it only tells me after when I've come off live how many people have actually subscribed. I think that's a bit unfair. Right, the ash. Okay, you can see the white. See the different colour. Okay, staining. Okay. This is the dieback, okay? And it just gives, I think every piece of wood tells a story. It adds character, it adds something to it, you know, it makes each piece different. So, let's get hollowing. Oh, too low. Too low. See me slipping? Because I'm not on centre. Has to be centre, okay? Has to be. See the control now? As you see, the flute is pointing that way towards you, okay? And this is where we just take our time. We don't rush. You rush it, you're going to wreck it, okay? 227 likes. Thank you to every single one of you. Thank you very, very much. Very, very kind. I had a break off the lathe for about 6 weeks over Christmas because I just wanted a bit of breathing space, you know. And I lost a ton of subscribers thinking, he's not making any more content. Well, I am. I was just having a bit of a break. So you can see we're starting to go in now, okay? I'm not starting over here, starting here, okay? And working to the centre. Stop, there. Stop in the centre, okay? Now, some people like to have a go at wood turning when they watch my content, and all I can say is basically, you're going to have a wood turner somewhere in your area, okay? And the best thing I can advise is to go and have a chat, okay? Go and have a chat. Have a go, okay? Have a go, but have a go with somebody who's experienced, who knows what they're doing and knows what they're talking about. Because the last thing I want to see is basically me creating content on YouTube and then someone goes out there, buys a lathe, jumps on it and gets hurt, you know? And say it's about technique, okay, tool placement, that kind of thing. And that's why I do my lives, to explain it in a bit more detail, trying to get people to understand. It's not just a case of throwing a piece of wood on the lathe and having a go, because like I said, you can get hurt. Like I said, what I've got to be careful of now is the depth, okay? I don't want to go too deep, but again, I want to make these walls because they're quite chunky at the moment. And like I said on my live yesterday, that tenon I made has got to be perfect, okay? Because if it's not perfect, this rim, okay, will go from thick to very thin, okay, from one side to the other. And you get a very wonky, uneven bowl, okay? So I'm going to crack on. I'm going to bring this into perspective now. So I'm going to keep going, make it nice and deep. We sand it with 3 grits, 80, 120, 240. And then it should be baby smooth then, very, very smooth. Then we apply finish, okay? I'm going to crack on. I'm not rushing, okay? Just being careful. tidy that rim up, okay? I think there's a bit of unevenness in it. There's somewhere on that rim that you can see it's slipping, you know? Here. Okay, uneven. There it is. I want that flat, okay? I want it flat. I can have better contact to it, okay? So again, just going to use that little bevel on the side like we were using earlier. Just gently come over the rim. Just brings it down, okay? Brings it down. 228 likes. Thank you very much. Really do appreciate it. Speed up a tab. 1200. There we are, okay? That should be flat now. Alright, let's keep making that rim a bit smaller. Get the round one out, okay? Get the round one out. Just come in and thin out those walls. You could do it with the bowl gouge if I'm flipping. You know, like I showed you before with the other bowls, it's got to have that sweep, okay, that curve. And like I explained earlier, from the centre, and the fingers should just roll out, okay? Don't hit the flat edges, okay? So, can I go a little bit deeper? A little bit deeper. Still got 223 of you still in the room. Thanks for sticking with me, guys and girls and ladies and gents. And a little bit deeper. Okay. Some bump there on the bottom. I got a little bump there on the bottom. Yeah. Yep. Remove that raised bump, okay, here. Feel it when you go over it, okay? Remove that raised area, and then basically we'll give it a very good sand, okay? 229 likes, thank you very much. just want to be careful at this point because I don't want to go to the bottom of it, okay? I'm right at the very base of that piece of timber. I've gone so far before, I've gone through the bottom. I've also gone too thin when I've taken the tenon off, and then basically I put a hole straight in the bottom of the bowl. Very easily done. Round that winner. Okay, we've got our bowl, okay? We've got our bowl. So, what I'm going to do now, I've got a dust mask on. I don't want breathing in any dust, okay? Very, very bad for you. Very, very bad for you. So, mask on. Like I said before, 80 grit, okay? Quite coarse. It smooth it up. 120 gets less coarse, 240 less coarse. And eventually, it should turn out pretty nice. Could put one somewhere. Right. I've got the spongy bit somewhere. That's the thing having a workshop. You put things down and it could be anywhere. I'll do it by hand. I need some sponge. So basically I'm not literally, because that thing there's nothing there to make it get smoother on the wood. Right. The last bit now, the last bit, and then we'll finish it off. We'll take it off the lathe. Air compressor. Lovely and smooth, okay? Lovely and smooth, alright? And the reason I'm using the air compressor is to get rid of any dust, okay? Because we don't apply a finish, well, while there's dust about. It'll end up stuck to the bowl. There we are. Turn the speed down. Alright. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to apply some isopropyl alcohol. And the isopropyl's there mainly to clean the surface, okay? Cleans the surface of any dust that could potentially be on there. And it raises the grain. And it gives a good indication of what it's going to look like when I put a finish on it. Evaporates very, very quickly. My good friend Mike actually taught me about the isopropyl. Another very, very, very good wood turner. Get the mask off. Yeah, that's dry. That's dry. So what I'm looking for is a nice finish. And for me, personally, I like to use pure tung oil, okay? Very lavish coat because it's lovely and dry. I'm just going to soak it up, okay? I'm just going to soak this up. You see how it's shining now? It's got that sheen to it. That's what we're looking for. No point, look, there's no point having a piece of timber to sit there and look dull, okay? Done it before. Used all sorts of different types of finishes, and one of them in particular does make it look dull and makes it smell like terps. That's finishing oil. Don't like it. It's cheap, and I suppose it's cheap for a reason. Okay, and we're gonna make sure. In fact, I just need a bit more oil. I could have gone on with some wax. Could have got sanding sealer, abrasive paste, anything really to put on here. But for this live, it's going on a bit long, so as many others do. That rim. You don't want a massive rag, because if you've got a massive rag and it gets caught in the chuck, it's gonna get caught. So it's just something in your hands, something too big, okay? And there we are. And there we are, ladies and gents. Piece of dark black ash. Let's have a quick look at it. Oh, apologies. So it's kind of still a bit tacky, but like I said, we've got the shape, okay? We've got the shape, and on the inside, it should just work up to that rim, okay? You can make the rim thick, chunky, thin, depending on the piece, okay? But dieback ash it's quite native here. It's quite a lot of it, and instead of watching it get burned, I'd rather turn it into something beautiful, practical, useful. But yeah, why are we 233 likes? I cannot thank you all enough. I cannot thank you all enough. I mean, you've all been incredibly kind, and 235 of you are still here. So, but yeah, it's been a pleasure today. It's been educational. It's been a lesson. But yeah, it's not a massive bowl. It's more of a decorative bowl. You go on the side, cereal bowl. You can actually eat out of this. You can actually put your cereal in there, okay, and eat out of it, because this stuff is food safe. And once it's cured, you can say it'll have a coat today, coat tomorrow, coat in 72 hours, and then it goes away and let it cure. Okay, and once it's cured, you can put food in there, crisps, chips, peanuts, soup, anything you want really. And but just don't put it in the dishwasher because yeah, you see what happens to wooden spoons. If you put them in the dishwasher, they get wrecked. So, but there we are, folks. I shall love you and leave yous. I want a cup of tea. And but yeah, it's been a pleasure today. But thank you very, very much for everybody who's followed the live today. It's been really good live, really good live. And I shall be back. I shall be back at some point. And like I said, I turn pens, I turn platters, I turn vases, I turn bowls, I turn decorative stuff, key rings, that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, I was going to say, if you want to support the channel, it is free. Don't forget to leave me a thumbs up. It does go an awful long way and does help the channel out massively. And but yeah, thank you to every single one of you who've engaged, asked questions, said hi, you know, and at least it makes me feel a bit more welcome to the live. So, but yeah, I shall love you and leave you there. Wherever you are in the world, have a good day, good evening, good night. Look after yourselves, stay safe, and hopefully I should be back before you know it, turning something else. So, have a good day, everybody. Speak soon. Take care. Bye for now.